They scored 6 touchdowns on 6 straight possessions. That is so hard to do, bro.
How many times is Patrick Mahomes going to get the call to help him win the game? From everything I've heard and seen about Baker Mayfield, he's not a top 5 leader. He's a top 3.
He was in Cleveland right now. They're not being led by their quarterback. Come on. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Jason and Osi podcast, brought to you by 888 Sport and Lazy Boy, the official partners of the NFL UK and Ireland. Get ready for a good episode today. Here we go. It's the Lazy Boy game of the week. We have the Chiefs versus the Bengals.
I absolutely love that, Jay. I had a little Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
A little Dak Prescott.
Yeah, I'm a quarterback in my dreams.
In your dreams.
Yeah.
But these are the field of dreams right here. Jason Bell, the Cincinnati Bengals on the march. We are in the second quarter, 3rd and goal. Look at your homeboy, Joe Burrow here, scanning the field, stepping up into the pocket, delivering a strike. And that is Andre the Giant Iosivich, J. Bell.
Andre came through with this big catch in the goal line, in the red area, and he had to because Jamar Chase was doubled on his play, so he had single coverage on the outside, and he deserves to celebrate. What a great play. Now look at this. We practice this all day. That is the receivers. The toe drag. It's excellent. It is superb. It is other words that I don't know the verb, Osi, but it was great. What a catch. What a throw. Big play, big score.
Did you see the celebration, though? Little Mo Salah, when he put the arrows out and he did the shooting?
I mean, the game is international, Osi.
Do you even know who Mo Salah is?
I do know who Mo Salah is. I appreciate
On
it.
to the second quarter with 9 minutes left. 1st and 10. Watch my homeboy, Patrick Mahomes, right here, scanning the field, stepping up and delivering a strike. And that is Rashee Rice running away like he's running from the scene of a crime.
What a throw over the shoulder to Rashee Rice. This is excellent, beating man-to-man coverage on the outside. And look at him, slows down a little, gets the defender to slow down and look.
Why didn't he do that the other day? Why didn't he slow down? Third quarter, 8:27 left, 2nd and goal. Look at Patrick Mahomes, and they're going to get a little fancy, man. A little razzle-dazzle right here, J. Bell. Watch this play. I'm going to throw it to the offensive lineman, Wanye Morris.
They call that tackle eligible, and he deserves to be eligible. He's probably an eligible bachelor with a dance like that, but that's exactly what they do down in the red area, down by the goal line. Andy Reid, this offense, they always have a play design to trick, to fool you. Great play design, great execution.
Wanye Morris. Wanye, Boys to Men Morris. We're going to show our age. You know Boys to
Yeah,
Men?
yeah.
Wanye.
ABC, BBD,
Yeah.
the East Coast family.
There you go, J. Bell, with your old ass. We're into the third quarter, 8:21 left. 1st and 10. Here we go again. My homeboy Joe Burrow, play action fake, sticking that foot in the ground and uncorking a fantastic throw right there to Jermaine Burton, J. Bell.
Hey, Joe Burrow is not to be outdone. And you know, this is when this offense is at its best, when it has explosive plays on the outside. Look at this, man-to-man coverage. The safety is coming from the other side to help, but he is too late. The receiver gets on top of the cornerback and stacks him, so it allows for a good throw over the shoulder.
2:22 left, 4th and goal. Cincinnati Bengals on the move again. Play action fake, and who does he go to again? Running, looking around, and it is Andre the Giant, J. Bell.
Andre comes through again, but this route is silky smooth, in and out, so quick his towel falls off the back of his hip. This man came through in the red area where they don't have a lot of space, and he comes up with the TD.
Patrick Mahomes, you know he wants to make something happen. Look into his left arm, throws a deep ball, but it is
Woo-wee!
Cam Taylor-Britt with the interception, J. Bell. What a play.
That is the play of the year so far by Cam Taylor-Britt. He got physical with him on the line of scrimmage, then went up and took the ball away with one hand, and I don't care about the gloves.
4th quarter, 14:52 left, 3rd and 10, under pressure, under siege, and gonna cough the ball up, J.
Is
Bell.
that a cough the ball up? What a play. We talked about this defense of the Kansas City Chiefs, and Connor picks up the ball, fumble recovery, takes it back. This is what Kansas City does well, swarms the ball carrier.
After a McPherson field goal, Cincinnati up 25-23. We go to the fourth quarter, 48 seconds left, 4th and 16. Patrick Mahomes throws the ball. Oh, are you kidding me?
To Rashid Rice.
Are you kidding me, J. Bell? Are you kidding me?
There's no kidding in that.
Are
That is
you
a
kidding me?
pass interference by Anthony coming off his back. Look at him. He's just a second too early. This is a rookie. He just mistimed the jump, and this play changed the game.
And we already know what's going to happen here. Harrison Butker. 3 seconds left in the game, and he is going to split the uprights. Kansas City Chiefs win again. Jim.
This is why you paid him a bunch of money for kicks like this. What a game we saw. Osi, game of the week did not disappoint.
I thought they paid him because of what he said. No?
What a game we had on our hands. Went down to a field goal. We expected it to be close, and the Chiefs did well by overcoming 3 turnovers to kick that last second field goal to win. They also had 150 yards rushing. Isaiah Pacheco was physical. He had 90 yards on 19 carries, and the Chiefs have played the Bengals, that is, 6 times since Burrow was drafted in 2020, and the Bengals are 3-3 in this game. This game is a battle for the centuries. Can't wait to see it again. The Chiefs defense has allowed fewer than 28 points in 23 games, including the playoffs. That is the longest active streak in the NFL.
Shout out to our boy Steve Spagnuolo, locking people down there, man.
Making
that
it happen.
Defense is nasty.
Making it happen.
Speaking of defense, though,
Yep.
J-Bell, pass interference again.
Oh, I knew you were going to talk about
Again?
that.
One more again, J-Bell. How many times is Patrick Mahomes going to get the call to help him win the game? Yes, we know he's a great quarterback. We know he's the greatest quarterback in the NFL right now. But for some reason, the script just seems to be favoring him over and over again, J-Bell. What is this? There's no way that's pass interference.
You don't even believe that.
I do.
No, you don't.
I do believe it.
Yeah, listen, okay. I understand, right? Because as good as Kansas City is, nobody wants to see them handed anything.
Okay.
Because they win too much,
4th
right?
and 16, J-Bell.
You
Can't call that.
I understand. You want to take and you want to keep the refs out of the game.
Yes.
When you look at it, you're thinking, oh, no, it's coming down to this. But it's a pass interference. He is early. He jumped too early. Now, you can say whatever you want. Would Rashid Rice have caught the ball? Maybe. But he was early. And I will say this, when we talk about roster construction, a team building, right? Organizations as a whole, we always say the bottom half of your roster, those guys are going to win and lose you 3 to 4 games a year.
Yes.
Right? They always say that,
Yes,
about 3 to 4 games a year.
Okay.
Well, this guy, a rookie, comes in. I'm not saying, I'm not putting it on him, but if he makes that play, they probably win the game. This is why depth matters everywhere, and everybody has to come through with a play. It was a pass interference. Have I persuaded you on my side?
You haven't persuaded me, but I will tell you one thing that, you didn't mention at all today. You said not one thing about this. Because as I was walking in, I've been receiving quite a few compliments.
Oh, I already talked about
on my ankles.
I've talked about
As
the rich man
see,
ankles.
Can you see? Can you see that right there?
Those ladies and gentlemen, Osi has his loafers on, which look quite comfortable. If you can't see this, they look so comfortable.
It's not the loafers I'm talking about.
It's the ankle exposure.
Exactly. I'm showing a little ankle.
That's the rich man ankle.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
I look like one of those 1800s Victorian. You know how they would just show a little ankle and the men would go crazy?
Yeah. It was all about your calves back then. They wanted
Now it's a different story.
You just look cold.
But back then, you know what I mean? Just a little ankle would have been. That's all they had to do, J-Bell. They just show you. You're like, is that an ankle? Oh my God.
He's risky. He's risky with his ankle out. You think he's risky. I tell you what, that pass interference was not risky.
Okay, I hear you.
Do you believe? What do you think?
I hear you.
All right. Patrick Mahomes had 151 yards. It was the lowest of his career. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and Joe Burrow with 258 passing yards. He was 23 out of 36 for 2 TDs. So who do you think outplayed?
You know what happens with the Kansas City Chiefs over these last couple of years?
Yeah.
Their defense carries them.
Yep.
Up until the point where it matters. And then Patrick Mahomes steps forward.
Complete team.
Yeah. when you look at him statistically,
Yeah.
there's no way you will say this is the best quarterback in the NFL up until it absolutely matters. That's when he shows up. Because statistically speaking, he will not have the best stats. He's been throwing quite a few interceptions. His numbers aren't up there at the very, very top. But then guess what? Playoffs, you'll be like, oh my God, he is balling. Super Bowl, you know he's going to win the game then. So there's something about him. I mean, maybe you want to call it the clutch gene. I don't know what it is. But over the past couple of years, you cannot say he has been performing as the best quarterback in football up until the very end. That's when he shows up.
I was about to literally come hard at you.
You were.
Yeah, I was.
You can't argue with facts.
I,
Jay-Bill. You can't.
I was about
a lot of people like to argue with facts. You can't do that.
Yes. I was about to retaliate in emotions.
Yeah.
But you said something, and I was like, all right, Osi, I hear you. You said up until the point.
Yes.
Great quarterbacks make a play when you know what they have to do. I know you have to throw, and I know you have to pick up a certain amount of yards, and I'm going to defend against that. And you still make it right.
Yep.
And that's what Patrick Mahomes does.
Does it every time.
Clutch situations. Just like you said, the defensive coordinator, Steve Spagnuolo. I love talking about him because I think play calling is an art. I'm just back to your other point. Even if you don't know much X's and O's about football, the way these people call plays, it's like painting a beautiful picture. Because what he did to force the biggest play in the game to get them the ball back, right? When he brought that pressure at the end of the game, he hadn't done it all game. He held it in his pocket. And I don't play cards. I don't gamble. But I would imagine if you're at a poker table and you got a big hand or whatever, you got to have something they haven't seen before.
Yeah,
you got to have control of yourself, of your emotions, not to use what you have in the bag. You got to save it to the last minute. And you've been on those teams, you've been on those defenses, and you've probably seen it. Do I know what I'm talking about, or am I just spewing nonsense?
You know exactly what you're talking about, man. You do. And you just got to save yourself sometimes, man. Just kind of like how I'm saving my ankles. J-Bell, are you turned on? Be honest. A little ankle action here. Go ahead, J-Bell. Go ahead. Just give me a peek.
You know who needed a little ankle action?
Okay.
The Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
The Dallas Cowboys needed all ankle. They needed to just wear no socks.
Yeah.
You know, back in the day in youth football, you know, when you didn't have to wear socks, right? Or in college.
Yeah.
And you know, some people, they look fresh, man. You know, just to if you built up your calves, you look fresh. They needed something because the Saints blew out the Cowboys 44-19 in Texas.
Ridiculous.
Right? So the Saints ended a 16-game home regular season win streak for the Dallas Cowboys. They scored touchdowns on 6 straight possessions, 44 points, which is the most scored on the road by New Orleans since Week 10, 2018. That was versus the Bengals, if you wanted to know that. And the Saints offense has scored 91 points in 2 games. Nobody was talking about that before the season. Alvin Kamara, who is on my fantasy football team, by the way. I chose him. I'm just throwing that out there. Had a historic day, 20 carries, 115 yards. That was rushing, 65 reception yards, 4 TDs. Dak Prescott on the other side, 27 out of 39 for 293 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interceptions. But before we get into this conversation, because I need to know how you feel, let's look at this clip, Osi.
Prescott.
Todd Archer, ESPN. Can you talk about the week-to-week nature of this league? Last week, you guys were riding a high in Cleveland, and then to have today, is this just the way the league goes?
Yeah, I mean, it's the NFL. I talk about each and every week. No games are played on paper. As far as riding a high, I know I wasn't personally. I don't think the guys in the locker room necessarily were. I mean, I talked about how much meat we left on the bone offensively, and that's simply why you can't listen to other people's opinions and read what you guys write respectfully. I mean, yeah, you know, y'all may have put this team on a high more than we should have been, and now we just simply have got to reset. We've got to respond. We're not going undefeated. You know, I mean, hadn't been done in 50 years. Woo, surprise. So it's about getting back to it and finding a way to respond to put the best team on the field next week.
Two things really just jumped at me.
Okay.
All right. We don't play on paper.
Mm.
And what you guys write.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
First of all, he looked really good up
He
there.
looked incredible.
He looked like he got the full chalupa
he
bag.
looked
I mean,
good. I like the way he looked. And to be honest, I like the way he sounded.
You like the way he sounded. Tell me more about that.
No, but he sounded like a leader. Like when I look at what I want my quarterback to sound like phonetically, that's exactly what, to me, he sounded like a leader, like a QB, a leader of men. I've heard people say that Dak Prescott is a leader, and a lot of times when I see him speak, I can actually see that. Now, we can get into the things that he said that you were a little off-put by.
You might have just swayed me a little bit,
Okay.
right? Because when you said leader, the light bulb went off. He shifted blame.
Yes.
He made an enemy. Because now, as a team, we just got beat down.
Yep.
You can't point fingers. Like any great coach will not go in and tell everybody what they did wrong. They are at a low right now. You have to now emphasize what we do well. Hey, I know it went this way, but look at all the good things we've had. You heard good coaches do that. If you get beat like this, they put the tape on and they show you what you did good because it's a sensitive situation. So what he just did is he said, hey, we are okay. You are the ones that have the problem.
Okay.
You all write this. We know we got to work at stuff. We know it's not going to be an easy road. We're ready for this.
Yeah.
It's on y'all.
But, okay, is he not right? Because really, when you look at the Dallas Cowboys, right, there's not one person in here who before the season said the Dallas Cowboys were a Super Bowl team. None of us said that.
We said we don't judge this team until the playoffs.
Right? So they go out there, they play one game. Defensively, they perform. Offensively, they're lights out. And all of a sudden, as usual, the crowning begins.
Yeah.
Oh, the Cowboys. But he's just saying, hey, we know.
Okay.
We're in here, and we know there are a lot of things that we need to fix. There are a lot of things that we need to get corrected. But you guys have anointed us yet again to be the champions of the world, and we're just not that.
You know, I have some blame to take in this because the first thing I said in this conversation, instead of celebrating the Saints, is I went to the Cowboys.
Yeah, exactly.
I went to them.
That's what we all do. That's what we do.
We defer to what did they do? How did they play? They got their face beat in. They couldn't stop the run. Alvin Kamara, his contact balance is something beautiful. Yeah. I mean, just watch this guy run the ball. What I mean by that is every time he gets hit, he's like a little pinball with balance, right? The way he looks so fluid. It's amazing. And Derek Carr.
Yeah.
Derek Carr, man.
Oh,
my goodness. Big throws down the field. I mean, that Clint Kubiak, their new offensive coordinator, the way that they are calling
we call that when nepotism goes right.
When nepotism goes
nepotism goes right.
Because his dad,
Gary
Kubiak, former backup quarterback, then offensive coordinator, then head coach, success, the Shanahan tree, which you see everywhere. You see that offense working everywhere. But yes, this is when nepotism wins.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing, his play calling. I love what they're doing as a team. I think this is going to be interesting. They have just shaken up the NFC South.
Yes.
But Osi, I'm going back to the Cowboys.
Okay.
I can't help it.
I
can't help it.
No, I hear you.
I can't help
I hear
it.
you.
I can't help
it. It sells.
All right.
Cowboys
bro.
sell.
All right, bro.
Sex sells.
Check. Okay. All right. So, you've been on defense when this has happened.
Yeah.
Okay. When you're in a game and you can't stop anything.
Yeah.
When you are getting bludgeoned.
Yeah.
When you're looking up and you're just looking for help.
Yeah. It's happened.
I know you. What does that feel like? How do you respond?
Yeah.
Tell me what the sideline's like.
Yeah.
Give it to me.
So first, let's talk about two things. Let's talk about Mike Zimmer, the defensive coordinator for the Cowboys, who was riding high off of week one, got humbled. To me, he just looked out of his depth.
Yeah.
This is an old school coach. You know, he's been
Yep.
a defensive coordinator for a long time. You know, strong personality. He's that guy.
Yeah.
But he just looked like he didn't know what was going on.
Bro, they
out
scored
there.
6 touchdowns on 6 straight possessions. That is
Ridiculous.
so hard to do, bro.
Ridiculous. He didn't know what was going on. But that being said, this happens all the time.
Why did you grab the cup like that?
Because it happens. We've seen this happen on numerous occasions. I've been
Ooh.
in situations like this where that happened.
Okay.
And speaking of
Paint the picture for us.
speaking of defensive coordinators who might have been a little overwhelmed,
Ooh.
I have to tell you a story.
Ooh.
And this is something that whenever I think about it, I laugh, but inside I feel a little bad because the defensive coordinator in question, who I won't say his
Yeah,
name,
we protect the innocent. Or the guilty.
I love this guy to death.
Yes.
He's just a great guy.
Mhm.
And so we're in a game, and we can't stop a nosebleed. They are just moving up and down the field
Ooh,
on us.
that is ugly.
Getting beat
Painful.
down. We don't know what's going on. We don't know what in the world is going on. So I'm sitting down, and you know, I see our safety, right, walking towards me, and he's laughing.
Can we tell me who it is?
Trell Roll.
Yeah, he's the man too.
And he's laughing.
Okay.
He's like, Trell, what's going on, man? He's like, bro, Osi, you're not going to believe what I just saw. I'm like, Trell, what happened, man? He's like, yo, the defensive coordinator was crying just now. I was like, why is he crying? He was like, he came to me, Os, and he was like, he was crying, and he was like, I don't know what to do, man. What should we call Trell? What can I call to help y'all? I don't know what's going on. I said,
That's what happened. Think about you've watched every ounce of film, everything they've done, and you can't stop nothing. I'm sweating like a hostage.
He's on the sidelines, not like, you know when you're angry and you have like a tear coming out, J. Bell?
Yes, yeah.
Not that he said
He's boo-hooing?
He was like full on, like, I don't know what to do, man. I'm like, man.
How do you go into your meetings after that? Oh, gosh. I can tell you what.
Funny.
I can tell you what, bro. Oh, my gosh, I'm sweating.
To this day, Trell, hit him up. Just message him right now.
Oh,
Be like, Trell, on Instagram, ask him, is this a true story? See what he says.
Oh, my gosh. Oh.
Crazy.
How do you go into your meetings
Yeah.
on Monday after?
Sometimes it just gets you, man. Sometimes it gets you.
Oh,
It gets you
gosh.
sometimes, J. Bell.
Oh, gosh. Speaking about get. Oh, my gosh. Speaking about
Full
get.
on crying, bro. Full on. Like full on.
I like how you teed me up because I want to talk about getting got
Okay.
and full on crying. The Las Vegas Raiders
Oof.
against the Baltimore Ravens. Yeah. There might be a little crying after an 0-2 start by the Ravens.
Yeah, they haven't been 0-2 since like 2015. Like, they usually don't start like this. It's been a long time.
They lost at home
Yeah.
to the Raiders 26-23. And it was a fourth quarter they do not want to remember. Now,
Another one?
Another one.
Okay.
Another one.
I guess we'll get into that a little bit later.
Ooh,
Go
good.
ahead.
Strong point. So the Ravens start 0-2 for the first time since 2015. Lamar Jackson has lost back-to-back games for the first time since 2021. The Raiders, they trailed in this game 23-19 with 9:32 on the clock in the fourth quarter, and then it was the Devontae Adams and Brock Bowers show. They just fed them the rock. And your boy Max Crosby, he was flying around. I say he's your boy because he's a defensive end.
Yeah.
He had 2 sacks, 4 tackles for loss, and that was tied for a career high. The Ravens also had 11 penalties, sloppy football, and they were 3 for 11 on third down. Before I get into the Ravens, I want to celebrate the win for our guy,
You got to give
Antonio
him a big
Pierce.
shout out.
Big shout out to Antonio
What a
Pierce.
win.
What a
Statement win.
Statement win.
Win in Baltimore. Have you ever played him? That's a
That is nasty.
difficult place to play.
And we were just laughing about somebody who didn't have the answers. It's hard out there, bro.
Yeah.
It's hard. Your head coach has to find a way to win the game that week. Motivation, tactically, and motivation is, I got to motivate the team and I got to motivate individuals.
Yeah.
Some people have it. Antonio Pierce got it.
Without a shadow of a doubt, he has it. He had that team ready to play defensively. They stood absolutely like giants in that particular ball game. Shout out to the Raiders. Shout out to AP.
Yeah, shout out.
But we're gonna go back to the Ravens.
Yeah. Okay. Get us back on it. What are you thinking?
Doesn't it seem like we've seen this story one too many times?
Sometimes I need a drink.
Doesn't it seem like we've heard this song one too many times? It's almost like it's repeating itself, J. Bell. The Ravens collapse again in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
The Ravens can't find a way to win. And I'm talking about the fourth quarter of games, fourth quarter of seasons, fourth quarter of the playoffs.
Yep.
They are never able to get over that hump. Something is fundamentally wrong with this football team, because at the end of the day, for whatever reason, this is I picked this team to win the Super Bowl this year.
Yes,
this was
you
my
did.
pick. And maybe they're just starting off a little bit slow and they're going to gain momentum, gather steam towards the end of the season. But then what have we seen over and over and over and over and over again, J. Bell? That collapse. And I just don't know if this team is built to win in the very end, Jason.
So are you posing the question that this team and certain players aren't closers?
No, if you're going to say it, just say it. Don't do that. If you're going to say it, Ask me the question.
You're not going to be – I can't throw it out you in a softball and you hit it hard
You're gonna
and
say
protect
it,
me?
Say it.
One time I was somewhere, I was doing business. Actually, it was with AP. It was something with and somebody said, I was in his box.
Okay.
And at the Giants game, and somebody came up, a businessman, and I went to have some coffee.
Okay.
In the suite. And they used to joke with me all the time, you know. Everybody beats me up because I'm that guy. Just making jokes at me because I can take a joke. I could get laughed at. And he goes, J. Bell, you getting some coffee? And I said, yeah. He goes, you can't have any coffee. Coffee's for closers.
Wow.
Because in finance, he's making a joke like, are you closing deal?
Yeah.
Coffee's for closers.
Wow.
And I laughed.
Yeah.
But the perception is, it doesn't matter what you do. Are you closing the deal? Are you making it happen?
So you said all that to say that Lamar Jackson can't drink coffee. Is that what you in a roundabout way, is that where we're going?
Coffee's not for everybody.
So you're saying Lamar can't?
Some people need to stay off the
No,
caffeine.
not some people. Are you saying that Lamar?
I'm not saying Lamar, but I'm looking at the Ravens.
So who are you saying then if you're not saying Lamar?
I'm looking at okay. All right. When you look at Lamar,
yes,
I see what you're doing. You're backing me in a corner, and I'm going to have to close out this conversation because you backed me in. My mama likes Lamar Jackson, and she's an avid podcast listener, YouTube viewer.
Yeah.
By the way,
Uncle Sam
loves it. He's
Alistair,
upset.
one of
our guys loves it.
Loves Baltimore.
By the way, if you listen to this and you are one of our many listeners, thank you. But man, go on to YouTube and check it out too. That really helps us out. Subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Appreciate that. But yes, you backed me in a corner, and I'm gonna stop being soft.
Let's go, J. Bell.
And you know what? I love the way Lamar Jackson plays. He's a human highlight film. I love everything he does.
I don't want to hear all that.
Okay, no, listen.
No, I don't want to hear.
Okay,
that.
so but last game. He missed a throw.
Not last game.
Last game.
Yeah.
Not the game before. The first game.
Yeah.
They had an opportunity to win.
And many, many times before that.
But I'm just talking this year.
Yes.
This is all I'm talking about.
Look how I'm looking at you.
Yeah. The way you look, I am in a stressful situation.
Yeah,
right?
you are.
I am on the stand.
Oh, you are.
And you are
J.
one
Bell.
of them lawyers.
If people knew you, they would be like, "Oh, it's squeaky bum time for J.
Squeaky
Bell right
bum
now."
time, right? Because they're gonna come at me.
I know.
They're gonna come at me.
Squeaky bum time, J.
He had
Bell.
an opportunity. He missed the throw.
He had a chance and he blew it.
He missed the throw. And then they have the throw that's, inches out by a toe by Isaiah Likely. But I believe before it was Zay Flowers who was open. Okay, cool. So he missed that. That's That's what the top dudes do.
2-time MVP,
Okay.
never a Super Bowl winner.
Okay. And in this game, when they had an opportunity and drive, it ain't happening. He didn't lose the game by himself because what happened in the fourth quarter on defense, right? It's not all on him.
Boy, you're a great corner.
On defense.
Look at you retreating.
Yeah,
Boy, you're a great corner.
On defense.
That's why you're a good corner.
You knew where the ball was going.
Go ahead and backpedal, J-Bell.
You knew where the ball was going.
No. Oh, let me see.
Devontae and Brock.
No, move your feet. Move your feet.
I'm getting out of there. I'm just saying. You got Gardner Minshew looking like he's the closer on defense.
Okay.
So it is a team thing, but we always talk about the quarterbacks, and I haven't seen closers.
Did you get paid $250 mil? It ain't a team thing.
Right.
It's not a team thing, bro.
Good point.
When they say wins and losses, is that on your back, J-Bell?
Nope.
It's on the QB.
It's on the quarterback.
It's on him. Come on now. It's on him.
So he's not a closer.
You said it.
Oh, my gosh. Anyways, man, let me get off of that, man. You know who did close the game out?
Okay.
The Packers versus the Colts. And they did it with a backup quarterback, Malik Willis, who came in to win the game. Anthony Richardson, he threw 3 interceptions, which is interesting. And then you have the Colts. They couldn't stop the run. This defense is kind of leaky, man, when I look at it. The Packers ran for 261 yards on 53 carries.
Have you ever been on the receiving end of that before, J-Bell?
That is like a boxing match where he's like, I'm not even going to hit you in the head.
Yeah.
I'm going to punch you in the body, and you know it's coming, and you cannot block it.
Constance.
Period.
Yeah.
Imagine that. If you don't know nothing, think of a boxing match, and a guy's like, I'm not going to hit you in the face, but I'm going to beat you up in the body. This was tied for the 5th most carries in any game for Green Bay since 1970, bro. The 70s. They rushed for 237 yards in the first half.
Yeah.
Most since 91.
Exactly what the NFL doesn't want to see.
No.
this kind of football.
And they managed, okay, you got a backup quarterback. You want to manage him. He had a career high 126.8 passer rating. That means don't worry about that. He was 12 for 14 for 122 yards and a touchdown because the way they managed him.
Yep, efficiency.
This is what we talk about with coaching. We say, how do you handle the situation with the players you have? What do you think about LaFleur's coaching job in this game?
Listen, he's been an outstanding head coach since he got in, right? I think the way he's managed everybody, every single situation has been exemplary.
Yeah.
Now, you have a quarterback who is inexperienced, right? You have a guy who may not be able to make the throws that Jordan Love was accustomed to making or displayed his ability to make. So what do? Short passes, quick passes, you pound the ball down their throats, you play good defense, and you manage expectations, man. This was a complete team win by the Green Bay Packers. Shout out to Matt LaFleur.
He has a fresh cut every week, too.
Yeah, he looks good, man.
He got a fresh little cut.
He
got
good.
somebody out there in Green Bay getting him right. And he needed to be right because he had a nice little interview. Because did you see he had to comment on the Packers center, Myers, who vomited before the snap on the ball on a critical third down because in the interview, he was like, Malik Willis didn't throw the ball. I forget, it was 3rd and something. And he came to the sideline and was like, I couldn't throw the ball. You know what I'm saying? Myers, he threw up on the rock.
It was vomit on the ball.
He threw up on the ball, snapped it, and the quarterback, like, a good team leader, goes, nah, I ain't throwing this. And he ran with the ball. And, he was interviewed about it, and he was telling the ref, the ref said, hey, if that happens again, you want me to, call a kind of injury timeout? He's like, yeah, that could be a critical down and distance, man. We need to figure that out.
Imagine if he would have thrown that ball.
And the dude would have, and it's spinning
with throw up. You're like, oh my God, what is this? Oh, hell no, J-Bell.
Why am I envisioning that?
I know.
You've been in the game a long time, Osi. You've seen a lot of things. Yeah. Is there anything crazy that you've seen on the field that you can remember?
Nothing as outlandish as that.
Yeah.
What about you?
So when I was in college, it's funny. Do you remember when Willie Beeman
Yeah.
in what movie was that again?
Any Given Sunday.
Any Given Sunday. They show him throwing up
Yep.
and then going. Well, that actually happened, and they copied it from UCLA. My
Okay.
quarterback at the time, Cade McNown, who was first-round pick for the Rams, he did that in a game.
Threw up.
Took the snap, threw a tug.
Oh, wow.
Oh, he was balling.
Oh,
he was.
wow.
I mean, he was.
Yeah, it's Cade McNown.
He was the man. It was.
remember him.
But literally, underneath center, two hands, turns his head,
Projectile vomit.
projectile vomits, looks back, takes a snap.
Wow.
Yeah, we didn't even know until after the game when people were talking about. But I also see something else really interesting.
Oh, I don't know about this laugh here, man. What happened, J Bell? Tell us what happened.
You have to protect the guilty.
Okay.
So I'm gonna leave names out of this.
Okay.
But this is in the pros.
Okay.
I seen somebody hit somebody. First of all, we got the, you got the all white pants,
Okay.
right? The all white pants show a lot,
man,
right?
Don't do this.
I seen a man tackle somebody.
Yeah.
Big hit. And he got up. And he had a little extra in the back of his pants. It was a little darker than the white pants.
You're joking, bro. Come on, man.
Dog.
Oh, my God.
He had a little.
It wasn't a grass stain.
It wasn't a grass stain.
He grunted. He must have grunted when he hit the guy.
They had to. I don't know how they got him right, but after
That's terrible,
in the next series, he was
clean.
good.
That's horrible, man. That's terrible, bro. That is the worst thing I've ever.
Oh my gosh!
Oh.
Would you consider?
Okay.
Would you consider that a difficult
It's a tough
situation, right?
Tough.
Would you agree that if you did that, you would be considered an underdog at the moment? Yeah.
A for real underdog. A for real underdog.
Oh.
I mean, listen,
We ain't talking about no grass stain.
But I tell you what, though, J Bell, imagine you're about to guard somebody. You're about to guard somebody, and you see that. You be like, "Oh, this dude means business, bro."
Hey, have you heard of dudes?
Guy means business.
I've heard guys in interviews talking about they would urinate.
Yeah. They're sweating. A lot of O-linemen do that. They're like they're sweating anyway, so you don't know.
So it's
all part of it.
It's the battle, man.
It's tough.
It's real out there.
Tough.
So
it's tough.
Man, these cameras. I'm glad them cameras wasn't. Imagine having to go home and explain that to your kids.
Ugh.
Oh man. Some teams got a lot to explain to themselves.
Okay.
All right. Because 6 out of the 7 underdogs, right, won this week. Okay. 6 out of 7. But I want to focus on 3. Because there are a lot of possibilities, a lot of alternatives, a lot of different
multiverse
scenarios that can happen. And a lot of times in organizations, they think the grass is greener on the other side.
Yes.
They believe it can't be me. It has to be you. This, whatever we're trying to do isn't working, not because the way I coach, the way I teach, the way I've built a roster. It's because you can't do this.
Yeah.
It is the great coaches always say, I heard Mike Tomlin talk about being a teacher, and he says if they didn't need us to be great teachers, we wouldn't get paid what we get paid.
Yep.
And I want to talk about 3 quarterbacks that won their games. Derek Carr, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold. So Derek Carr, we just talked about it. They go out there and they beat the Cowboys. Baker Mayfield beats the Lions in Detroit, right? And Derek Carr beats in Dallas. And then Sam Darnold beats the 49ers. Now he was at home. I mean, these are all quarterbacks that have moved teams. The team they left, somebody said they weren't good enough.
Yeah.
But yet, They are having success. Now, Derek Carr is looking great under that offense. Baker Mayfield. Both these guys got big contracts, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Cleveland wishes they had Baker Mayfield?
Definitely.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Sam Darnold, now he beats the 49ers. He was there. It helped him develop. But my goodness, under O'Connell, somebody who knows how to develop quarterbacks is the head coach of Minnesota. Somebody who played quarterback, knows how to scout him, knows how to develop him. Look at the way he's playing.
Yeah. See, I always say this, and I'm so thankful that when I got drafted, I went to the New York Giants.
Right.
I always say this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because what I've come to realize in my time with within the NFL, even outside of my playing days, when people have talent and they're hardworking, right? That combination of both.
Yeah.
If a situation isn't working, I look externally. I do.
Mm-hmm.
I start to look externally. A lot of these players who are getting drafted, very talented, and they are hardworking.
Yep.
And they go to situations and they don't perform.
They're usually going to the worst team.
Right?
Top draft picks.
And a lot of times they move on or they go somewhere else and you see them flourish. You'd be like, well, what happened? Blah, 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 blah. What? No. They went into a situation where the people didn't know how to utilize them. They didn't take the time to truly invest in building this, because the NFL is a different level than college.
Yeah.
But building these players up and giving them all the tools and all the necessary work to make this thing work for them, they don't do that. And then the minute it doesn't work, they immediately shift to something else. And then that person goes somewhere and thrives, right?
Yes.
So now when I see players who they label busts and all this, I don't even, in my head, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if this guy was a bust.
True.
I don't have a single clue. He could have just went to a bad organization, a bad coach, or a bad situation, and he didn't meet his potential.
You got the former coach of the Raiders who comes in and says, I don't want Derek Carr.
Yeah.
And he leads all quarterbacks with 17 passing touchdowns since week 15 in 2023. But you don't fit what I need to do. Now the coach isn't there. Now you're in a situation where if you had him on the Raiders right now with AP, get out of here. Get out of here. Yeah. And then I want to talk about Baker real quick. Because imagine going into a team after Tom Brady left and getting that locker room to accept you, first of all, and to follow you as a leader.
Yeah.
Now, our producer, Uncle Sam, threw in, he asked me to say, is Baker a top 10 quarterback? And I'm thinking, I'm not even worried about that. Is he a top 5 leader?
That's a great question.
Is Baker, because everybody does is he a top, and I get that. But what kind of leader is here? Because think about it, if he was in Cleveland right now, they're not being led by their quarterback. Come on.
From everything I've heard and seen about Baker Mayfield, he's not a top 5 leader. He's a top 3 leader.
Ooh.
Top 3. Hands down. And you can't even question this.
Yeah.
From his time at Oklahoma, even when he was at Cleveland, the people, his players, respect and they admire this man.
Yeah.
And he has that underdog mentality, that grit, that fight, that, intestinal fortitude.
I like it.
That gets him into the upper echelon, no matter how much you try to beat him down. He is a fantastic man.
Yeah.
Forget quarterback.
Yeah.
He's a good man, and that shows up every time he steps out there on the football field.
I mean, this is the key to the position. You have to be able to execute. What do you do well? Do we build around you? It doesn't matter what I know as a coach. It's how I can teach you. How can I make sure that we implement that? And we don't see that a lot.
Yeah.
And now we understand that it isn't necessarily about all these stats we throw out. To your point, who are you and how do you lead? And I think those 3 guys are in a situation where we've seen it it's going well for him.
Yeah.
I'm highly interested. Yeah. Osi,
yep.
It's time. It's that time.
Okay. What time is that?
It's time for our picks.
Okay.
You ready?
I think I've been on a unfortunate roll these last 2 weeks.
Man. Hey, we're not gonna start just like the beginning of the year. Yeah. We're not gonna start talking about like what our record is.
Yeah.
Let's give us the first quarter of the year.
So I'm Patrick Mahomes. Is what you're saying.
Just give yourself time.
Am I Patrick Mahomes?
You just give yourself time.
Patrick Mahosi. Mahosi. I like Mahosi. Patrick Mahosi.
Welcome to the Pick segment powered by 888 Sport, the official partner of NFL, UK, and Ireland. Are you ready for this?
I am ready. I also love the way they add Ireland.
It's my peoples, man. Come on,
I was really happy when I saw that.
I like that.
Shout out to Ireland.
Shout out to everybody that we power. That being said,
everybody that powers us.
Yeah, for real. Not everybody. That's true. Thank you. First up, we have the Lions at the Cardinals. Kyler Murray looked good last week.
He did absolutely ball. Best game of his young career, especially since coming back off the injury. Lions coming off a difficult loss. I'm going with the Lions in a bounce-back victory here, J. Bell.
I'm with you. The Lions bounce back. They need it. Dan Campbell will have them motivated. We have the Chiefs at the Falcons. Ooh. Kirk Cousins looked all right this week.
Dirty Birds got a dub against Philly, but they're not going to get a dub against the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, Mahosi, takes the win here, J. Bell.
I'm going with the Chiefs for the win. Also, Osi. And then we have the Eagles at the Saints. Ooh.
That's a tough one, man. But I would expect the Philadelphia Eagles to come out. I mean, somebody's got to slow this New Orleans Saints team down now. Somebody's got to do it. And I think this is going to be the game the Eagles get this dub.
I'm going with the Saints because what do you call their stadium?
The Bermuda Triangle.
Where teams get lost.
Yeah, they do disappear down there. You're right.
So I'm rolling with the Saints. What about the 49ers at the Rams?
Rams are not looking good.
They don't got a lot. They got a lot of injuries.
They're not looking good.
A lot of injuries.
Got to go with the 49ers here, J. Bell.
I'm with you on that. Go with the 49ers. And last but not least, the Ravens at the Cowboys. Two teams that are desperate for a win.
They both need a dub. I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens here, man. They have to win this game. No way they go 0-3, J. Bell.
I'm with you on that. How are they going to go 0-3? The Ravens get the win. So that's how we think it's going to go down. But please head over to 888 Sport to get all the odds. Please gamble responsibly, 18 plus. Osi, week 3 is going to be fun. Like you always say, the NFL never disappoints.
Never has disappointed, never will disappoint. And guess what, J. Bell?
Them ankles don't disappoint, do they? Them
ahead,
ankles
don't
disappoint.
Just give me one.
That little,
just give me one. Go ahead.
Is that legal to touch?
You can touch it.
Hey, this has been the Jason and Osi podcast. If you haven't, please subscribe. Go on to all the social media platforms, YouTube, click the subscribe button. Everywhere else, we appreciate all the love. We will see you next time. Thank you.